Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Felix, and I am Michael. So you're one of my online students, and you say, one thing I need to know as soon as possible is the punctuation in English writing. I do understand how and when to use periods, questions, and exclamation marks, but I have some trouble with other symbols because I don't know exactly how to use them in writing. I think that's what makes my writing not score 30. So can you explain to me how and when to use commas, semicolons, and hyphens? Yes, I can. Now, your questions about punctuation, this is actually a lot more complicated than you think. However, in my lessons for my online TOEFL course, Felix, I want you to go to the grammar section with me together right now. You ready? So go to the grammar section. That's section number 3. And let's take a look at how you can understand this. So here's my recommendations. First of all, you want to go to lesson number 28. This lesson talks about, it's grammar lesson 28, Felix. It talks about when to use commas. It'll also talk about when not to use commas. There's about 7 basic rules when you want to use commas. Watch that video. Now, I also have practice exercises to help you understand more. Now also, go to grammar lesson number 29. It talks about the semicolon, the colon, the dash, period, question mark, and exclamation point. And again, I have practice exercises that you complete directly online to help you master punctuation. Now, in conclusion, to at least this part of the video, punctuation, Felix, it's a lot like driving. Think of it this way. What would you do if you're driving down the road, there's no traffic signals, there's no stop signs, there's no yield signs, there's no signs telling you or warning you about how to drive? That would be difficult, right? So like signs for drivers, punctuation is important for readers. It helps the reader navigate through your writing. The better you can control your punctuation, the easier it will be for readers to understand your ideas, and the higher your TOEFL writing score is going to be. All right? Now let's go to the next part of the video. You have some questions about, you say, I've seen some great improvements from my speaking, but intonation is a major problem for me. Could you help me deal with intonation? I've seen some of your videos, but it seems pretty hard for me to use it. Unfortunately, Felix, intonation is one of the most difficult areas of pronunciation. Ask yourself, why is that, first of all? It is because we learned intonation as children probably between about 6 to 18 months of age. That's when we're really getting the intonation down in the language. Felix, if you watch babies, a 6-month-old baby will babble. Goo goo, gaga, dad, dad, mama, mama, whatever. But what's interesting, even though the baby is not using language and at least saying words at the time, the tone that the baby uses is similar to the tone of the target language. So what does that tell you? It tells you that intonation is learned at a very early age. Now what does that mean to you now? It means that this is one of the last things that you will be able to master when it comes to speaking. Now, I'm not saying you can't master it. I'm just saying that it's difficult. So, of course, if you've gone to my lessons, and let's take a look at them right now. So if you've gone to my pronunciation lessons specifically, which cover intonation, you know where they are. It's beginning with pronunciation lesson number 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. But it's not enough. Intonation is also important, and you'll hear me cover it in pronunciation lessons number 41, 42, 43, and 44. So you have to familiarize yourself with some of the patterns, the most common patterns for intonation in English by going to those specific lessons. What else can you do? Obviously, watching movies, I highly recommend it. If you can watch 3 or 4 movies a week and then pay attention to how the speakers are talking, but just listening to it is good. Now, speaking English as much as you can with native speakers. This is also very, very valuable for you, Felix. It can really help you with your intonation. Now, a trick is you can even get some headphones and you can go to YouTube and you can practice listening to and singing songs with native speakers. This is also a very good way to get used to the intonation patterns of English. So there you have it. So if you watch some movies, you talk to native speakers, you listen to music and sing with the speakers, and you review my lessons I just suggested, these are some of the ways that you can improve your intonation. Unfortunately, it's a long, hard road. It doesn't happen quickly. But if you follow these steps and you keep practicing, eventually your tone will become more similar to the tone of English. Alright, anyway, thank you very much, Felix. So now, in this video, I've answered some questions about punctuation, and also I've answered some questions about intonation. So now you know some things that you can do to study to help improve your knowledge in both of these areas.